الحمد لله بارئ الخلائق الأجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما ولي الله الحجة ابن الحسن صاحب الأمر والزمان.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم:
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
من أطاع عليا فقد أطاني ومن عصى عليا فقد عصاني. صدق النبي وآمنا به. نوروا مجالسكم بذكر محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Tonight's discussion, a discussion which is perhaps one of the most difficult, a bayan or a discussion on Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. And in reality, the attempt to understand Amir al-Mu'mineen in his entirety is an attempt which is futile. Because this is a personality, the reality of his greatness, his adama, his daraja, is one which is beyond the capacity of the human mind to fully comprehend. Which is why, at one point in one of his narrations, the Holy Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, and his progeny says, Ya Ali, nobody understands Allah Azza wa Jal. Haqqul ma'rifah. Nobody understands Allah or has ma'rifah of Allah except you and I. He says, Ya Ali, no one has full ma'rifah of myself except you, Ali, and Allah. Ya Ali.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
Allahumma salli ala
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
And then he says, Ya Ali, nobody has true ma'rifah of you except I, Muhammad Habibullah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who is this Amir al-Mu'mineen whom we have gathered for today? And there are many doors in terms of seeking ma'rifah of Amir. If you have a look in the last few nights, our discussion has been about ma'rifah, seeking an understanding of the day of judgment, because Amir al-Mu'mineen himself says that the foundation of this religion is built on ma'rifah. Then what about seeking ma'rifah of that person who himself ma'rifah is the establishment of the deen? There are many ways in which you can understand the adama of Amir al-Mu'mineen. But tonight, I want to take you through a journey for you to recognize the greatness of the Imam to a manner which is possible by the human mind. I want to take you on this journey of ma'rifah, ma'rifah which is nuraniyah, ma'rifah which is malakutiyah, ma'rifah which is imaniyah, ma'rifah that is booming with hubb, ma'rifah of a person, ma'rifah which you can absorb because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has purified your heart and has allowed you to gain this ma'rifah of Imam. Ma'rifah malakutiyah. We want to take this through the Quran, because tonight we commemorate the striking of this Quran natik. But is there any better way to understand this Quran natik other than through the Quran summit? Yani the book. And this is our goal tonight. I want to take you back. When you want to understand Amirul Mu'mineen, we understand this personality, number one, through the Quran, but by going back to the beginning and the origin of mankind, and that is Nabi Adam. Look at all these points. These are treasures of Ma'rifah, yani Murur al-Karam. We're just passing through them. But within this, there is treasures for those who contemplate. In order to understand Amirul Mu'mineen, we go back to Adam, who is the father of all mankind. Why? Because this ma'rifah of Amirul Mu'mineen is central to the progression and the sustainment and the spirituality of all mankind. You find this is a hikmah ilahiyya that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has embedded within the Quran. We begin with Surah As-Sad. Let me take you through this journey where you'll be able to envision this scenario, if you can call it, within your mind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, where He's talking about the creation of Nabi Adam. We start from verse number 71 of Surah As-Sa'ad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي خَالِقٌ بَشَرًا مِّن طِينٍ. He says, and when your Lord said to the angels that I am creating a human being, a bashar, from teen, from dust or from soil. فَإِذَا سَوَيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. Command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards the malaika that when I create him, and when I blow within him from my ruh. What is it that Allah blows from within the ruh? This in itself is a sharah and tafsir and ta'wil later. He says, but Muhim, when I blow my ruh into him and his creation is complete, O malaika, I want you to do sajda to Adam. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. Each and every one of the malaika performed sajda in obedience to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards Adam. Illa Iblisa, except Iblis. And Iblis, bain al-qawsayn, between brackets, Iblis was not from the malaika. Iblis was from the jinn. But because of the intensity of his ibadat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised his maqam such that he would be honored and privileged to be amongst the malaika. And therefore this amr, this command which was applicable on the malaika was applicable on Iblis because he was within that rank of spirituality, if you can call it. So they all malaika prostrated except Iblis. Qala ya Iblis. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking. Qala ya Iblis, ma mana'aka an tasjuda lima khalaqtu biyaday. Ya Iblis, what prevented you from not doing sajda to this human being, this Khalifa who I created myself? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to say, Astakbarta am kunta min al-alin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala now points out these two potential reasons for which Iblis felt that he cannot do sajda in front of Adam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to him, these two choices are what? Astakbarta. Number one, astakbarta yani from istikbar, takabbur, mutakabbir. Ya Iblis, did you find yourself to be so arrogant such that you cannot perform sajda in front of Adam? Yani the first reason of Adam's, or the first reason for Iblis's disobedience was what? Arrogance. We're together, more? Arrogance. Number one. Number two, he says, do you think you were arrogant? Am kunta minal alin. Or did you think, ya Iblis, you are from those who are of the exalted position? Alin from the word Ali or Ali, A'la Illiyin. So we understand over here from this verse that when Allah commanded the Malaika and Iblis to perform sajda, there was one group of people who were exempted from performing sajda towards Adam. This category of people were known as the Aleen, which is why Allah says to Iblis, why did you not perform sajda? Did you consider yourself to be from that group of people who are exalted? Those people who are exalted to such a level that they are exempt from the sajda of Adam? Did you think you are from that group? Or if you know you were not from that group, were you just purely arrogant? Allah. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. So the question over here is, hadith and these kalam is not from my pocket, lest somebody says ghulu or kufr or shirk. By not the Quran, kitabullah, kalam of Allah, which is final and divisive. So I ask you, O mankind, O people, who is this group of individuals who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described in Surah Sad as being exalted, and due to this elevated status, they were exempted from the sajda to Adam? Meaning what? They were greater than Adam, more powerful than Adam, more glorious than Adam, than to perform sajda to Adam, because you can only perform sajda to somebody who is more glorious to you. Adam was glorious than the Malaika, and the Malaika failed to comprehend this in the beginning. So keep this in your mind before we move to the next set of verses, that there is this group of individuals known as the Aleen, exempted, already created. Notice, keep this in your mind. Now we move to Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah from verse number 30. See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this incident again. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. When your Lord said to the angels that I am appointing a Khalifa on the earth, Ya Akhi, these are points of contemplation. إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ, I am the one who is appointing who? A Khalifa on earth. Ya Akhi, if you follow the Quran, by this Quran of Surah Al-Baqarah verse number 30, whose responsibility is it to appoint a Khalifa? Allah or man? أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. I appoint the Khalifa on earth. قالوا, the Malaika, this is the point that they didn't understand. قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك. The Malaika said, Ya Allah, are you going to make a human being a Khalifa on earth when these human beings are known? How did the Malaika know that the human beings are already known for these traits? This is different kalam. But they said, Ya Allah, how can you make somebody who is a Khalifa on earth? How can you make somebody a Khalifa on earth who is known to shed blood, to cause fitna and fasad on earth? How can you make such a human being Khalifa, whilst us, the Malaika, praise you and glorify you and in total obedience? What does Allah reply to them? Qala, Allah Azza wa Jalla, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. O angels, I know what you do not know. What is this ilmul ghayb of Allah? Hadith says, it goes on to say, وَأَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ أَرَدَهُمْ عَلَى الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِ بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. The hadith or the Quran goes on to say, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, allama Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him the names. Allama al-Adam al-asma', the names. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam the names of everything. And then he displayed them to the malaika. The names of what? We don't know yet. The names of what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Nabi Adam the names of some things, some people, whatever, something. And then he displayed these things to the malaika. And he said to the malaika, فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِ بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. He said to the malaika, tell me what are the names of these things that I have displayed in front of you. قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ لَا عِلْمَ لَنَا إِلَّا مَا عَلَّمْتَنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. The malaika said, Ya Allah, glory be to you. We don't know their names. In fact, we don't know anything except that if you teach us, we will know. So long as you do not teach us, we do not know. Total dependence on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qala ya Adam. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, after the malaika have attested to their ignorance of these things, Qala ya Adam, anbi'hum bi asma'ihim. Ya Adam, inform them of the names of these things that I have displayed to you. فَلَمَّا أَنْبَأَهُمْ بِأَسْمَائِهِمْ. When Adam taught them the names of these things, what happened? قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أنبأهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض. Until the end of the verse, Allah said, did I not tell you that I was who? The Alimul Ghaib. Which means that these names that were taught to Adam, which the malaika were not aware of, the names of these things, these names are a representation of the ilmul ghaib of Allah Azza wa Jal. Once Adam taught them the names, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the malaika, look, this Adam is superior to you because he has ilm of these names. As a result, Adam is superior to you. And as a result of this superiority, the verse goes on to say, إِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةُ أُسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا. Based on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the malaika, do sajda to Adam now. When after Adam has got ilm of these names and has taught these names to the malaika, then Adam became qualified or suitable for the malaika to perform sajda towards them. Tayyib. What are these names that qualified Adam to have his maqam? You have a school of thought that comes and tells you that Allah taught Adam the names of the creation, yani sea and land and trees and plants and the angels and everything there is in the dunya. Yani Allah taught Adam the names of this earth or the things that grow from this earth, and based on that he was more superior. The Quran in itself rejects this belief. Why? Because the word that is used over here, وَأَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا ثُمَّ أَرَدَهُمْ, displayed them. The pronoun, for those people who understand or speak simple Arabic, the pronoun hum, yani plural of huwa, he. Plural of he, yani hum. The plural or the pronoun hum is used in Arabic language to denote a third party, that is a living being, not a thing. If it was an indication towards a thing, like the trees and the oceans and the water, the pronoun that would have been used was thumma aradaha, not aradahum. You do not use a pronoun for a human being to discuss some or to describe something which is non-living. Allah. Allahu Akbar. Now we understand that Nabi Adam was taught the names of certain human beings. Allah had created certain human beings through ilm of them. Adam qualified to be the Khalifa of Allah, as a result of which the Malaika would do sajda to him. Another proof. فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ. هَؤُلَاء Yani in Arabic grammar, ismul ishara. Ishara, third party. Like in English language, how you have this or that or them. Ismul ishara. You're referring to a third party or a third person without taking their names. Correct? This is why you say that person. You could say that person is sitting by the car. You could have said Hassan is sitting by the car, but you replace the word Hassan with that person is sitting there. And ishara, you indicate towards a third party without taking their name. So in Arabic over here, once Allah displayed these people to Adam, and he taught Adam the names of these people, he then took these same people and put them in front of the Malaika. Why? Because the verse says, Allah said to the Malaika, فَقَالَ أَنْبِئُونِي بِأَسْمَاءِ هَؤُلَاءِ. In Arabic language, this ismul ishara ha'ula is used to refer to a third person, whether they are female or they are male, in plural, to a person that is akil, living human being. If you are doing ishara and you wanted to say that, those people, if you want to say in Arabic language, those people, you say ha'ula. If you want to say those things, yani non-living people, you would say, for example, or this thing, you would say hadihi. Yani you would use the word hada and change the ha to the end for feminine. So we understand from the grammar of the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selected certain individuals, living beings, who are discussed or who are described in Surah As-Sa'ad as being the Aleen. And as a result of having ilm for these individuals, Adam became Khalifa. As a result of the ilm of these people, the Malaika did sajda to Adam. The question over here is, when Allah has told us to read the Quran and contemplate and tadabbur, the question that comes to the intellectual mind is, who are these category of people that Allah has elevated and glorified? Search the east of the world and the west of the world. No one can give you an answer in line with the grammar of the Quran except the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. Imam al-Askari says that the names of these people, those people were Muhammad, Ali, Hassan, Hussein and Fatima. Ya Ali. Understand this Imam. Understand this Imam, who you claim and who you pledge allegiance to. You are Shi'i, you are Haydari. Know that when you have chosen a person as an Imam, you have chosen the best that Allah has granted you. And you find that even more than that, this Ali, who is within this Ahlul Bayt, is the reason for the acceptance of the istighfar of Nabi Adam. Nabi Adam, when he ate from the forbidden tree, he did not commit a sin, because the Anbiya Ma'soom, he performed a tarke awla. So look at the Quran again. I don't think this verse is on the slides, but Mohim, verse number 37 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Adam invoked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with certain words. For as a result of using these certain words within his dua, the consequence was what? Fataba alayh. The word fa, yani, or the letter fa before the word taba, fa for consequence, consequential. As a result of using these words in the dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave Adam. We come back to the tafsir. Tafsir of ulama from the amma as well as the khassa. Tafsir of ulama who are not from the Shia refer back to Shawahidul Tanzil from the ulama of the amma. In his tafsir, he says the companions asked Rasulullah, with which words did Adam do a dua such that Allah forgave Adam? In Shawahidul Tanzil, a book not of the Shia, the hadith says Rasulullah said, Sa'ala Adam bihaqqi Muhammadin wa Ali wa Fatima wa Hassan wa Hussein. By the sake of Amirul Mu'mineen, Allah forgave Adam from the Anbiya. Understand the azama of this Ali, whose azah you have come for today. Understand the azama of this Ali, who you live every breath of your life in accordance to his principles. Ba'd, the relationship of Amirul Mu'mineen to the Anbiya. Hadith Sharif in Yanabi'ul Mawaddah, a well-known book from the ulama of the Amma, from the non-Shia. Rasulullah, when he went up on the night of Mi'raj, it is narrated that he reached the fourth heavens, and when they were in the fourth heavens, Rasulullah was to lead Salatul Jama'ah for all the rest of the Anbiya, 124,000 minus one, Rasulullah being at the head. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to Rasulullah, Silhum, ask the Anbiya, Silhum bimadha bu'ithtum. Ask the Anbiya, on what basis were they made Anbiya? On what basis did Allah make Nuh Nabiullah? On what basis did Allah make Ibrahim Khalilullah? On what basis did Allah make Musa Kalimullah? Ask them on what premise, for what reason they were selected to be from the Anbiya. Rasulullah says, فَسَأَلْتُهُمْ بِمَا بُئِثْتُمْ فَقَالُوا. Each and every one of the Anbiya in one single voice, 124,000 minus one, they looked towards Rasulullah and they said, بُئِثْنَا عَلَى شَهَادَتِ or بشهادة لا إله إلا الله وحده والإقرار بنبوتك والإقرار بولاية علي بن أبي طالب. They say the Anbiya from Nuh to Adam, Musa, Ibrahim, Isa, Yunus, Yusuf, Ayyub, all of them, they said, Ya Rasulullah, we were appointed as prophets because we attested that La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika la, there is no Lord except that one Lord, he has no partner. And by attesting to your prophethood, even we had to say Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And in addition to that, we had to attest with the wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen. The Anbiya from Adam to Isa said Ashhadu anna Aliyan Waliyullah. Understand this Imam who you pledge allegiance to. This is that Amirul Mu'mineen before the dunya. Amirul Mu'mineen in the dunya, inshallah, we shall have this discussion on the 21st, inshallah. Amirul Mu'mineen in the akhirah. Hadith al-Sharif states, Amirul Mu'mineen states Biharul Anwar. From a long part of a tradition, and our time is running out, our Maqtal Musibah, recitation of the Musibah is long today. Inshallah, we want to relive this journey of how Amirul Mu'mineen was struck on the head in as much detail as possible. And inshallah, on the 21st night, we shall have the recitation of the Maqtal. Maqtal, inshallah, we shall follow from the moment of the 19th night all the way till the time Amirul Mu'mineen left the dunya, what he said, what he did, with who, his wasiyah, everything, inshallah. We shall sit and we shall relive these final moments. But in any case, Biharul Anwar Alama al-Majlisi rahmatullah alayh, he states this hadith of Amirul Mu'mineen, where Amirul Mu'mineen himself says that فَلَا أَزَالُ عَلَى الصِّرَاطِ أَدْعُو رَبِّي سَلِّمْ شِيعَتِي وَمُحِبِّي وَأَنصَارِي وَمَنْ تَوَلَّانِي فِي الدُّنْيَا. On this day of judgment, Amirul Mu'mineen says, on this day of judgment, Yawmul Qiyamah, our topic has been Yawmul Qiyamah. He says, on this Yawmul Qiyamah, I will stand on the Sirat, this Sirat which is a bridge that goes right over Nar Jahannam. The person who doesn't cross this Sirat falls into Nar Jahannam, wal ayadu billah. The Sirat which is finer than the strand of a hair and is sharper than the blade of a sword. The Imam as-Sadiq says people will cross this Sirat in different ways. Some will pass through it like a strike of lightning. Some will be falling down, getting burnt by Nar Jahannam, coming back onto the bridge. Others will walk slowly, others will be crawling, others will be on their stomachs. Allahu Akbar! The flaming fires of Jahannam leaping to take these disobedient people into hellfire. Amirul Mu'mineen says, at that time I shall stand on the Sirat, and I, Ali ibn Abi Talib, will raise my hands in dua and say, Ya Allah, safeguard my Shia, safeguard those who loved me, safeguard those who helped me in the dunya. Allah. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, on a night like this, count us to be from the Shia and the Ansar. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, we're disobedient and we are not worthy, but we have hope in you, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Love this Imam. Teach your children to love the Imam and uphold this love. Do not say that I don't need to increase my love in Imam. Abadan la. Imam as-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. He states, أثبتكم على الصراط أشدكم في محبتنا, or في محبة أهل بيتي. Imam as-Sadiq says, the most staunch ones of you, the ones who will be most firm on this Sirat, who will pass by, are the ones who are the most intense in the love of Amirul Mu'mineen. The more intense your love for them, the easier your passage on that Sirat. Shi'ati wa muhibbi wa ansari. Who is the Ansar of Amirul Mu'mineen in this day and age? On a night like this, contemplate what is your responsibility towards Amirul Mu'mineen in Tabligh. I think for today, kafi. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ikhwani, the night of 19th Shahrul Ramadan, Allahu Akbar. On a night like this, you and I are about to become aitam. We'll begin the masa'ib. I don't know, do we switch off the lights during the masa'ib? The narrations mention that on the 19th of Shahrul Ramadan, on a night like this, Amirul Mu'mineen, it is as if you are in Kufa now. You are sitting and you are watching these events unfold. So even though your bodies are here, Mombasa, Ikhwani, take your hearts to Najaf al-Ashraf, take them to Kufa. You're following these traits. May Allah grant each and every one of us the ziyarah of Amirul Mu'mineen in the dunya and his shafa'ah in the akhirah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Do not take away from our hearts the love of Amirul Mu'mineen, Ya Allah. The narrations mention that on the 19th of Shahrul Ramadan, Amirul Mu'mineen had iftar at the house of his daughter Sayyida Kulthum. Amirul Mu'mineen used to have this habit and this practice that on the nights of Shahrul Ramadan, he would have iftar at the house of one of his children every night. So one night iftar at the house of Imam al-Hassan, another night iftar at the house of Imam al-Hussein, a night iftar at the house of Sayyida Zainab and Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, until they came this night, the 19th of Shahrul Ramadan, where Amir al-Mu'mineen had iftar at the house of Sayyida Kulthum. She says that as the time of Maghrib dawned, as the time of Maghrib fell upon us, Amir al-Mu'mineen recited the Salatul Maghrib. Upon completing his Salat, he came and he sat by the Sufra, yani the table spread which is laid down. Amir al-Mu'mineen used to sit on the ground and eat, As Sayyida Kulthum had spread the sufra for her father, Amir al-Mu'mineen, she laid on the table 2 pieces or 1 piece of bread, a little bit of salt, and 1 glass or 1 bowl of yogurt. Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he sat on the sufra, he looked towards the food and he began to nod his head. He then began to cry tearfully. He began to wail until his beard was dripping with tears. He looked towards Sayyida Kulthum and he said to her, "Oh my daughter, why do you add all this food on the sufra? Do you want to increase the accountability of your father on the day of judgment?" Allah. Sayyida Kulthum says, "But oh my father, this is only a very simple meal." Amir al-Mu'mineen says to her, "I swear to you by Allah, oh my daughter, that from the 3 things on the sufra that you shall remove 1 of them." Sayyida Kulthum wanted to remove the salt. Amir al-Mu'mineen put his hand on the hand of Kulthum and he said to her, "By Allah, I do not want you to remove the salt." Sayyida Kulthum removed the laban, she removed the yogurt. On a night like this, Amir al-Mu'mineen did iftar with a pinch of salt and 1 stale piece of bread. In another narration, it mentions that the bread was stale because Amir al-Mu'mineen was one who decided and who willed to live in poverty. Allahu Akbar. Sayyida Kulthum says, "As soon as my father had his iftar, he went on to spend the remainder of the night in ibadah, sometimes in a state of sujood, sometimes in a state of ruku, sometimes in a state of kunut, supplicating towards his Lord. Every now and then between his ibadah, Amir al-Mu'mineen would go out towards the heavens in the veranda, what we call a veranda, He would go out towards the courtyard and he would look up towards the skies and he would say, hiya wallah, laylatul lati wa'adaniha habibi Rasulullah. Allah, I swear by Allah, this is the night that my brother Rasulullah had promised me of." He continued to spend the rest of the night in sujood and ruku, and between the ibadat, Amir al-Mu'mineen took some rest. When he took some rest, he saw Rasulullah in his dream. He says to him, "Akhi ya Ali, oh my brother Ali, we are waiting for you in Jannah. Your uncle Hamza, Ja'far al-Tayyar, my daughter Fatima, all of them are waiting for you." Allah, I don't know what went through the heart of Amir al-Mu'mineen when Rasulullah said, "My daughter Fatima is waiting for you," because Amir al-Mu'mineen left Fatima in the most painful of ways. Allah. Amir al-Mu'mineen woke up from his sleep. He went towards his children. He gathered Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, Kulthum, Zainab, and Imam al-Hussein together with Abbas, Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, and his children. He then said to them, "Oh my son Hassan," referring to Hassan, talking to Hassan, but referring to all the children. He said, "Oh my son Hassan, I have seen my brother Rasulullah in a dream, and I feel that my days on this earth are limited, and soon I shall be rejoined with them. Kulthum and Zainab began to weep. They began to weep and say, what shall we do after you, O our father? Amirul Mu'mineen said, but life is but a temporary stop, and death is a bridge that each and everyone must cross. Amirul Mu'mineen spent the rest of the night in ibadah until 2/3 of the night had passed. 1/3 of the night was remaining. A few hours before Salatul Fajr, Amirul Mu'mineen performed the wudu in his house. He then tied together his mi'zar and he wore his robe, and he came out from the house going towards Masjid al-Kufa. Allah, Allah, Ya Shia. Amirul Mu'mineen is coming out of the house in one way, but how Amirul Mu'mineen will come back to the house, that do not ask me. The narrations mention that as Amirul Mu'mineen stepped out of the house, there were a few ducks that were being reared on the courtyard. As soon as they saw Amirul Mu'mineen, the ducks began to flatter their wings as if to say, do not go towards the masjid, Ya Ali. As Amirul Mu'mineen went towards the masjid, there was still some time before Salatul Fajr, so he recited the nawafil in the masjid, and then as the time of Salat set in, Subhus Sadiq, Amirul Mu'mineen went up towards the Ma'adana. He climbed up to the platform that the Mu'adhin would stand upon, and on the 19th of Shahrul Ramadan, yani leading towards the morning of the 20th, it was Amirul Mu'mineen who gave the adhan from Masjid al-Kufa. The narrations mention Amirul Mu'mineen stood on the platform. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. Adhan Amirul Mu'mineen, Ya Shiat Ali. The narrations mention that as soon as Amirul Mu'mineen gave the adhan, the entire population of Kufa was able to hear his voice. Amirul Mu'mineen recited the adhan. Upon completing the adhan, he came down towards the masjid and he began to wake the people up for salat. He began to tell them, as-salat, as-salat, yarhamakumullah. Inna as-salati tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. This Amirul Mu'mineen. Few hours before his martyrdom, he's doing tabligh. Few hours before his death, he is guiding people towards salat. Ya Shia, this is a message from Amirul Mu'mineen. In your salat, uphold your salat. Allahu Akbar. He then goes on to the masjid waking people up, and then he came across Ibn Muljim, who was lying on his stomach, concealing the sword between his belly and the ground. Ibn Muljim al-La'in. Amirul Mu'mineen wakes up Ibn Muljim and he says to him, oh man, do not sleep on your stomach, because this is the sleep of the shaitan. If you must sleep, then sleep on your right hand side or sleep on your left hand side. This is the sleep of the hukama and the sleep of the ulama, or else you should sleep on your back, because this is the sleep of the Anbiya. I ask you by Allah, have you ever seen a person give guidance to the same one who is going to kill him? This is our Amir. This is our Imam. He gave guidance to Ibn Muljim even at this final moment. The narrations mention that Amirul Mu'mineen stood in the mihrab and they began to form the lines of Jama'ah. This is the Salatul Fajr, the last one, led by Amirul Mu'mineen. Ya Shia, get ready to weep, huh? Amirul Mu'mineen stood at the mimbar, at the mihrab, and he gave the iqama. The lines of Jama'ah were formed behind him. He performed the Takbiratul Ihram and began the Salatul Fajr. Ibn Muljim was standing behind. He let Amirul Mu'mineen complete the first rak'ah of his salat. Upon the second completing the second rak'ah, Amirul Mu'mineen went into ruku. Subhana Rabbiyal العظيم وبحمده. Amir al-Mu'mineen stood up. He went into sajda. وَوَيْلَهُ. He went into sajda. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdeh. On this side, Amir al-Mu'mineen raises his head from sujood. On the other side, Ibn Muljim comes with his poison sword shouting out, Al-Hukmu lillah, laysa laka ya Ali, fadarabahu bisayfihi ala ra'sih. He struck Amir al-Mu'mineen with the poison sword on his head. Wa imama, wa aliya. The narrations mention Amir al-Mu'mineen, as soon as he was struck with the sword, he cried out, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, fi sabilillah, wa ala millati rasulillah, fustu wa rabbil Kaaba. Amir al-Mu'mineen fell down face first on the musalla, the blood from his head dripping down on his face, on his beard, onto his chest. Jibreel came down from the ground. The narrations mention the city of Kufa became dark. The winds began to blow turbulently and violently. Jibreel came down from the heavens crying out, Tahaddamat wallah arkanul huda, انفسمت والله انفسمت والله العروة الوثقى. The pillars of guidance have been destroyed. قتل ابن عم رسول الله, قتل علي المرتضى وإماما وعليا. مات مع علي, مات مع حسين.